Hi guys, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that today the stock market crashed, dipped, and mainstream media has actually not told you what the real reason for this drop. So let's dive straight into it. And later I'm gonna talk about how to profit from this situation. So let's do it. So this is what the market was today, like red everywhere, but this is not the focus of today. On this channel, we are talking about the truth about the market, the real driver for this drop. Well, no one has told you, or maybe you have read, but this is the reason. Oil plunges 11% as new COVID variant sparks shutdown fears. The plunge of the oil price was the main factor. Obviously, that is due to the Rona, and I've said it, fine. Rona, just the new Rona variant, and that caused the oil to plunge. So the oil plunging so much in one day, 11%, that's insane. This plunge is so big, and this is the reason for this drop. So 11-week low on Friday, pushing the US benchmark back below the $7 a barrel. So the question is this the big drop then, the big crash that everyone is waiting for, talking about? Well, let me tell you a little bit more about this price drop, because this is very important. And here we are. Trading volume for today was expected to be light, amplifying price swings. And so that is the main driver for the market crash. There is another driver that I'm gonna talk about in 1 second. But if you've been subscribed to this channel, you know that I've been calling for a weak market for quite a while. Actually, it's about 2 weeks that I've been telling you that the market is in a state of emergency, as it were. Everything started with the taper that happened basically 3 weeks ago, and that was the main driver for this kind of drop, which at the time of recording, obviously it's quite big, but later I'm gonna tell you how to manage your portfolio in this situation. So let's move on to the second reason for this drop. Actually, first of all, I want to tell you another thing, very important. The price of cryptocurrencies got hammered. Like, look at this, like it went down way more than stocks. This is something that is very important, and keep it at the back of your mind, because this is important to understand why I think this may not be the big crash. Later I'm gonna show you another piece of evidence that will really blow your mind. But first, let's have a look at the second reason why we had a crash. So China asked Didi to delist from US on security fears. So again, China is back at it, and this is another reason to cause this kind of unrest. And so we have not one, but 2 reasons for this drop. And so is this gonna be the big drop? Do I see this being a drop that will carry on for days? Well, there is one thing that makes me think that this is not gonna be a massive drop. First of all, if you look at the chart and how much all the stocks have dropped today, well, you see that some stocks, even if they were like very close to all-time high, let's say Tesla, they just dropped under 3%. So not a massive drop. But second, there is something that I don't think many YouTubers are talking about, probably not enough, and that is why I don't think this is gonna be a massive drop forever, for certain. And guys, guess what? First, I'm looking at bonds, because as I've told you on this channel, the stock market is a kind of, well, it's intertwined, let's say, with the bond market. So the bond market today actually went down. What does it mean? Well, that's very simple. The money, once again, and if you've been subscribed, guys, just subscribe. If you've been, you know that the money moved from stocks into bonds. Yes, that's what drove the price down. Sorry, not the price, the yield. Because the yield goes down when people buy more US treasuries, more bonds. Now, even if you look at for example, the curve yield, the yield curve, well, you see that there is nothing incredible here, nothing really extraordinary telling you this is gonna be a crash. The yield is maybe a little bit weird over here, nothing to like be too worried about. Like, it's just kind of what you have to really be worried about is if we have an inverted yield where 1 and maybe even 3 months bonds actually give you a better return than a 2-year bond or a 1-year bond. if this side of the curve like goes up, basically goes up and gives you a better return than the rest of the yield, that is the big sign of a massive drop. However, and this is a big thing, the market is in a very weak position at the time of recording. Obviously, as I told you, there is the taper that is taking place. Like, it has happened a little bit this month. Next month, well, there's gonna be a little bit more tapering happening, and it's very important to understand that the Fed told us that we're gonna have a very strong increase in the interest rates, and you know that inflation is actually really going through the roof. So in at the end of 2020 and now at the beginning of 2022, we see that potentially the bond market might spike, and we're looking again at the yield. And so my strategy is kind of very simple, really. I don't think anything has changed from yesterday, from the day before. The strategy is still the same. If you are investing for 5 years and for longer, well, probably this is a buy the dip kind of opportunity. So just buy now and you'll be fine. But if instead you need the cash in 2022, guys, well, it is, again, as I've told you, and as I'm doing as well, because that's my position. I want to use my money to buy stuff, to buy a house in 2022. And so I'm looking at taking profit now. I'm looking at taking maybe more profit. I have a lot of positions that, you know, I want to keep, so I'll be very careful. But at the same time, I'm looking at, you know, taking more profit and move some of my money into stable coins to lend them out and get some of the profit. Actually, at the end of this video, I will actually do that. That's gonna be an interesting part. And if you are subscribed to my Patreon, I'm gonna tell you everything, how I'm doing, how much money I'm making. By the way, just join it. Is the first link in the description below. It's just literally $3, I think, for the lowest rank, and it's very cheap, right? So, and you get a lot of value. You can talk to me. We do a lot of things in the Discord, but very importantly, and this is the deal, I'm not gonna completely leave the market. There is a lot of things that can happen between now and when the Fed will increase the interest rates. And if Rona comes back in full swing and these companies need cash, I am thinking that potentially the Fed might decide to leave the interest rates where they are now, which could cause the market to keep rising. So I wouldn't quite take the foot off the gas as of now. So if you have a position right now and you are in good profit, I would take a bit of profit, but I wouldn't close my position. If you are long term, as I told you, just buy the dip, and otherwise, oh, and by the way, I know that I completed the video earlier, but if you want to know the latest news on stocks, and I'm basically making these videos on a regular, every day almost, just subscribe and I'll keep you up to date on the market. No BS. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.